Are you thinking about moving into the Lexington area and you're really trying to figure out not only what neighborhood you need to move into, but what area? Where are you going to work? How close do you need to be to work? These are all the things that we're going to answer today in this video, because we're going to be looking at the 40511 zip code in the northwestern area of Fayette County. Now, if you're looking at this area on a map, you can see that the northwestern area of Fayette County is a lot of farmland. So if you're looking for an area that maybe is not as congested and you can be out in grassy areas quickly, this might be the area for you. Now, this zip code that we're going to look at today, it borders Leestown Road, New Circle Road, and Citation Boulevard. It also includes easy access to Alexandria Drive, which can take you all the way over to the other side of town. It does have a mixed vibe of different areas. So you've got your rural space, you have your farmland area, and not far away you have your downtown area. So the prices, you would think, compared to the Hamburg area that we looked at last week, go back and check out that video, these prices are a little bit less. So they range anywhere from the high 200s upwards into the 500s, but you can really, as we're going to look at in a little bit when we get into our map, you're going to be able to see that you can get a lot of house for less than $400,000. If you're willing to put in a little bit of updates, a little bit of money into those updates, and it's not anything that you'd have to do right away, this might be the area for you. Now, the average home price in this area is around $300,000, and the typical square footage is anywhere from 16 to about 2,200 square feet. You have a mixture of single stories, two-story houses in these neighborhoods in this zip code. Now, this area would be perfect for military people, first-time home buyers, maybe those who are downsizing and looking for a smaller area, maybe smaller yard to take care of. This area is pretty close to Bluegrass Airport. You can get right on New Circle Road and take it around to Versailles Road, and you can be at the airport probably in about 15 minutes or so, depending on the traffic. I did want to talk to you about some of the pros and some of the cons of living in this area, and we talked about that a little bit. The affordable housing in this area makes this a really nice place to live. There are newer homes here that you can get into at a reasonable price. And then there are some more expensive houses. If you have a little bit bigger budget and you want to get into something a little more expensive, there are those options here as well. That's a really good pro of living in this area. It's very convenient as you travel, and we're going to show that a little bit later on our Google map. We're going to show how convenient it is to get around New Circle, to get on the interstate, and to take 421 into downtown. It's a mix of new and older neighborhoods in this area. So if you don't want to be in a cookie cutter type home, then this is an area for you. I ought to definitely check out what's available here. Now, we do have some cons, and we got to talk about those. Now, the cons, as we're looking at it, it is a little bit longer drive if you need to get over to Hamburg or maybe into South Lexington, closer to the Summit. If you need to be over on Nicholasville Road, it's going to take you a little longer to get into these places. So that would kind of be a con. The traffic, as we talked about, is difficult during the peak hours. So probably from 7:30 in the morning until about 8:45 or 9 o'clock, it is going to be heavy traffic, as everyone is going into downtown. And then as we're coming out of town, out of work, everybody's getting off from work, like I said, somewhere around that 3:30 to 4 o'clock time frame, up to about 4:30, 5:30 or 6, you're going to experience peak congestion, and that would be a con of living in this area. Now, there's also fewer walkable restaurants. You're not close to downtown. There aren't really coffee shops that are walkable. So that would be a con. There is, like we're going to show you in a little bit, you're going to see the Masterson Station Park with the dog parks and the playgrounds and all the different things that they have there. That is a really nice feature of living in this area. And, but the neighborhoods are not as walkable as maybe some other neighborhoods. So when we're looking at the pros and cons of living on the northwest side of Lexington, there's several things to consider. Definitely where your children are going to go to school, where you're going to work, where you want to shop. All of these things are very important to think about. But price and affordability sometimes trump out all of those different things. So whether you're thinking about moving next month or 3 months from now, give us a call, send us a text or an email. We'd be happy to help you make the move into Lexington. So now we've jumped into my computer and we're going to take a look more in depth at this 40511 zip code here in Lexington. So I'm going to share my screen so we can kind of see what is available in this area. So as you can see with the outlined area in white, you can see this is all the 40511 zip code in the Lexington area. Now it is in the northwest end of Fayette County. So let's just zoom out so we can kind of take a better look. Now you can see our New Circle Road that goes all the way around Lexington here. And you can see up here in white, this is all the area that we're going to focus on today. So we're going to be looking at the school systems here, why or why not to look in this area. There are some cons to living in this area, so we're going to break it down and get into it. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this area that I've got highlighted. Now I want to look at it more with our filter on. Now you can see that most of this zip code is farmland. All of this land up here, this is all horse farms. And out here, this direction will take you into Frankfort. And all the way, I want to zoom out so you can kind of get a good look. All the way out this direction is in the area. Here's Frankfort up here in the top of my screen. And you can see you're going to follow the interstate basically out to the west, and all of this area is farmland. So when you're looking at this on the map, there really are not a lot of this area that is neighborhoods. Let's go over them. So we've got Masterson Station, we've got McConnell's Trace. I want to look, we have Griffin Gate, Kearney Ridge. It's kind of a new subdivision. We have Sanders Crossing. An older subdivision is Meadowthorpe and Spring Garden. Those are just some of the neighborhoods in this zip code. So when you look at, you can tell on our map, where the areas are where people are in neighborhoods. You can see all the different houses. Let's see if we can zoom back out. Now I wanted to show you before we actually look at any of the properties today that I've got set up for us. You can see here where my red line is, this is I-64 and it runs all the way up into Frankfort. People like to live in this neighborhood or in this area because they can get right on the interstate and they can be up to Frankfort or even over to Louisville in a relatively short period of time because it's easy access off and on the interstate here. Also, it is easy access to get onto New Circle Road because you're right here at Meadowthorpe. If you're in one of these neighborhoods right here, you can get right on New Circle. You can be all the way around here to the Nicholasville Road area, the Harrodsburg Road area, or you can go around this other way to the Georgetown Road, all the way around to Bryan Station. So easy travel in this area. But one of the negatives that I wanted to tell you about and why it is not as popular is it does have some really nice schools for elementary and middle school. They have built these new schools. We have the Sandersville Elementary School that's been built here, brand new school, just a few years old. But the high school in this area is not one that people typically want to go to. Now, I don't have any kids in this high school, so I'm not real sure. But you need to look it up on niche.com and see what you think about this area. But this is what I'm hearing is people don't really like the high school. So if you have younger children and you think, well, maybe in the next few years they will get a high school in this area, and that's a great possibility because as you can see, the high school is really not even in this zip code. Can you see it down here? I've got it highlighted. The high school is Bryan Station. So for whatever reason, maybe it's the student to teacher ratio, not real sure, but you do your due diligence when you are looking at the schools. But this is one of the things that people talk about is they don't really like the schools in this high school in this area. So that was one of our negatives. Another negative that we do hear some is although the travel is easy in this area, there's a lot of traffic, because you have a lot of people that are going back into Georgetown. So they travel this back road here to get over to I-75 to get up to Georgetown. As you can see on our map, we are just straight south of Georgetown in this area. And people travel to get back, to Frankfort. It's just a congested area trying to get these people use these little 2-lane roads to get over to the main road. And so from about 4 o'clock to about 5:30, you're going to encounter quite a bit of traffic in this area as people are going to and from work. Also in this area, and I didn't highlight it really, and I wanted to see, let's see if we can kind of pull it in here where we can see it. In this right here, just right in this area where you can see my cursor here, right before you get onto New Circle Road, this is where the VA is, the Veterans Administration. It's a large hospital here, lots of veterans traveling to and from, and lots of workers in and out of that hospital. So we have UPS in this area, a huge bottling company with Pepsi in this area. So there is a lot of traffic that's in this area. So that's enough about the negative. Let's zoom back out a little bit and let's get back up in here. And the first house that we're going to look at is this one. So it is all brick. Or let's see if it is. Might have some vinyl siding. It is a 2-story. What do you think about this property? Take a quick look at it. Looks like it's nice and open, probably not hardwood floors. I'd say that's maybe luxury vinyl plank. It's got a small little island, it does have a gas stove. Minutes here just to look quick at the pictures, and then we'll look at some of the details. Okay, so let's go back to our details here and see, let's see what this house is. Almost 2,300 square feet. So it's a really nice size house. It's older. This house was built in 2002. If you're looking for houses in this area, there are a lot of newer houses to choose from, but this was one that came up on my list. It's actually been on the market for 79 days and it's priced at $394,900. So for almost 300 square feet in this neighborhood, it's a nice size house for the money. Could we get a good deal on it? Maybe we could. If this is something that might interest you, reach out to us, send me a text, send me an email. Let's see if we can, start sending you some searches through the MLS so you can kind of get a look at these properties that have been on the market a little while. Let's see if there's anything else we need to know about it. Now, it is in the Bryan Station High School, and it is at the new elementary school, the Sandersville Elementary School. I wanted to go over here real quick while we're thinking about it to niche.com. So niche.com ranked Sandersville. Let's kind of get down here and look at it. It actually gave it as there are lots and lots of elementary schools in Lexington, but it actually gave it a 7. It was the 7th best public elementary school in Lexington. It has a student-teacher ratio of 14-1. So that's really not too bad. It did give it an overall rating of A. And, one of the users here at niche.com said, I've never been unhappy with this school. They always consider reviews, are very clean and sanitary, have good lunches and breakfasts. So not sure if that's something that's important to you. I wanted to show you though the other elementary school that's over in the older area, and it is Meadowthorpe. And Meadowthorpe, it is one of our subdivisions in this zip code, but it's also given the #1 public elementary school in the Lexington area. So it also got an A as an overall rating, no different than the other one, but the student-teacher ratio is 13-1, so one less student per teacher. So I wanted to be able to show you that. So let's hop back over here. Now, when you look at this property on the map, you can see that there is a lot of land, just green space around it. So you can see that Masterson Station, the park of Masterson Station, is right here. And this is where they have the Bluegrass State Fair is here every year in June. Let me see if I can show you some of the pictures. You can see how much green space is actually here real close to this neighborhood that we're looking at. They do have a splash park, a dog park. There are horses everywhere in Lexington, so you're likely going to see them just about anywhere. So people have taken some pictures of the snow. So these are the pictures that are available here on Google Maps. Let's see if we can get out of this real quick. Now, I wanted to show you where the Sandersville School is. Let's see if we can zoom in. So this was the first property that we just looked at for just under $400,000. It is in the Masterson Station neighborhood, but right here is the Sandersville Elementary School, and you can see this group of homes. It's in the newer section of this Masterson Station neighborhood. Now you will see, and maybe this would be a negative to you, right behind this neighborhood and not far from this school is the Blackburn Correctional Complex. So it is a state prison where they have low level, it's a minimum security prison here. So if that's an issue for you, you just need to know that could be a con, living that close to that prison. It's pretty close. So going back over here to our map, we can see all of this green space here is the Masterson Station Park. So they have the park, the playground, they've got a dog park, all in this area. And it's right off this main highway, which is 421. Let me see if I can zoom in and you can see this highway running. It's a really nice road. It will take you all the way into Frankfort. We'll just see if we can kind of zoom in. Now you can see as we move farther and farther toward Frankfort, you see more and more farmland. So you can tell that this is a farming area through here. There's not any subdivisions as we leave Masterson Station area heading west toward Frankfort on 421. Now let's take a look at our second house that we wanted to look at today. Let me see if I can find it here just a minute. Now you can see this one is one we want to look at, and it's up here a little bit closer to the interstate. And we're going to take a look at this one. Let's get over here to my MLS and let's take a look at it. Now this is a one-story property, and let's see if we can kind of go through some of the photos here. You can see that it is just brick on the front. Now, can you tell by maybe some of the features in this home that it is a newer home than the last one that we looked at? Much more open. Look at the bookcases. Kitchen is open, all white. Is white still in? You know, let us know in the comments what you think about the white cabinets and the white lighter paint. Is that still something that you are looking for when you're looking at a house? It's got a nice fireplace. It's got a nice island. We're not going to look through all of these photos, but the bedrooms are nice size. So let's take a look at the details. Now this one is a little bit smaller at just about 1,800 square feet. Let's see, this house was built, it's a newer house, 2024. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 full baths, and it's in the Kearney Ridge neighborhood. So that's why it's up a little bit closer to the interstate. I was telling you that some of those houses, some of that newer area is just being developed back there closer to the interstate. Now this house is priced at $419,900, so it's about $22,000 more than the other house, but it's a newer house. What do you think? Are you looking for more space at a cheaper price and maybe you're willing to sacrifice the newness of the home, or would you prefer to get something that is newer and maybe doesn't need any updates? Let's take a look back over here at our map so we can get a good look at where it is. Now you can see it is really close to the Sandersville School, and it is across this highway, which is, thinking that's Spur Road. Let me look. Looks like it runs into Citation. So you can tell that this is a newer area, lots of green space here around this, as you can see, and then on either side. So we've got the Kearney Ridge neighborhood in this area, and you can see just how close it is to I-75, the I-64 interchange. Now let's take a look at our last house, which is, I think it's down here. All right, we're going to look at it, and you can see it's a little way from the other houses that we looked at. Now this is over in the Griffin Gate neighborhood. So it's across from all the other ones, still in this 40511. Let's look at it on our MLS. Now this one is the most expensive one that we're going to look at today. Let's look at the pictures first. Let's see what you think. Now we've got, it's like a 2-story. Look at the view. It's got a lot of green space around it. Tennis courts, really nice. They've staged it virtually. What do you think about that virtual staging? It's a really pretty area. It looks like the floors are hardwood. It's a really nice property. I mean, it does need some updates. What do you think about the brown granite?
maybe that could use a little bit of a refresh. We're not going to look through all the pictures. Now, it's not as open as the last one we looked at. So let's look at some of the details. This one is 2,500 square feet, and it was built, it's much older, 1987, because Griffin Gate is an older part of Lexington. It's not really in the northwest area, it's more in the north part of Lexington. And this one is priced at $450,000 at 2,500 square feet. Now, it does have an HOA here because I think it does have those amenities like we were talking about. It doesn't have a golf course. It has pool maintenance, neighborhood maintenance. It does have the tennis courts. So it does have some amenities there. And it looks like it's $330 a month for the HOA fees in the Griffin Gate area. But people do like to live there in that neighborhood. What do you think about it? Let me check to see what the school was there. It probably is. Now, that elementary school is Mary Todd. So let's see if we can go over here to niche.com and let's see if we can find the Mary Todd School, elementary school, and let's see if it's rated at all. No, I'm not seeing it on here. So it's not in our top review of schools, the Mary Todd Elementary School. Now let's get back over here to our map because there were some other things that I wanted to show you in this area. Now, they've been building lots and lots of condos and townhouses right over here near this McConnell's Trace. Lexington doesn't have a lot of rental places, and so they built these really nice townhouses that are just for rent in this area right here off of Leestown Road. But I wanted to show you some of the shopping that we have in this area. So everybody is abuzz in Lexington about the new Publix. We actually have 2 new Publix supermarkets, and the first one that has already opened, and it is right up here. As you can see, it's very close to our Sandersville Elementary School and a couple of the places that we looked at. Right here is Publix. You can see how close it is to all the things that we've been looking at. Let me see if I can zoom in here and give you a better look at what's kind of near it. It's right off of Citation Boulevard. It's right beside Rood and Riddle, the Equine Hospital. Have you ever been to the Equine Hospital? It's a pretty interesting place to look around. Just a really cool place. I was trying to see if there's anything else in this area that we might need to look at. Now, as you can see, Citation Boulevard does run. It is a nice 4-lane highway that is, helps you get all the way to the north side of town. As you can see, it takes you all the way over here to Griffin Gate, makes travel so much easier. I wanted to see what other items on this list we wanted to look at. Now, as you come into Lexington through this neighborhood, right here on Leestown Road, let me show you here with my cursor. You come into this Meadowthorpe area. Now, this is direct access into downtown. So if you follow my cursor here, you can see that this takes you straight into downtown Lexington. I'm going to pull you in a little more so that you can get a look. Gratz Park, the Kentucky Theater, Rupp Arena. Let's see. So over here you can see is Red Mile, which is the horse race. They have horse races there. We've got the Mary Todd Lincoln House. Now, if you're coming into Lexington and maybe you're going to work downtown, living here in the 40511 zip code is really easy travel to get downtown. Now, there's going to be traffic because it is a 2-lane road to get all the way into downtown. It's going to be that way anywhere really in the city that you live. But it is a straight shot into downtown from this Leestown Road 421. There are some new shops that have come here in the area. Let me get over here to see if we can take a look at them. People come in to work here at the Amazon Center, telling you that earlier, and I think I said it was Pepsi, but it's actually Coca-Cola. They've got a distribution center here right off of Mercer Road. UPS has a very large center here. I was trying to see where it is. Then we've also got FedEx. So we've got lots of people coming in here to work at these large facilities. Right here we have Overhead Door. It's a very large facility here in the Bluegrass. So let's zoom back out so you can kind of take a look. I just wanted you to have a really good look to see, there is a lot of green space in this area. And we were going to talk about some of the newer stores. So there's like they have built the Starbucks out there in that neighborhood they've built it out in Masterson Station. They've got Biscuit Belly that's out there. I've eaten there. It's pretty tasty. For, breakfast. I think they're open till about 2 o'clock. They've got a Ramsey's Diner that's moved out there. So they are building more things as more and more people are moving into this area. So as we've talked about in our video today, I wanted to be able to show you all the different things that are in the 40511 zip code, with the negatives being, the school district for high school. But it's a really good area if you have younger children. Maybe they will upgrade and get a different high school. It would definitely be something worth thinking about. Some of the shops that are near there, that was, maybe some of the negative. There's not as many shops as maybe down in the Beaumont area or over in the Hamburg area, but it's really quick travel. If you got on the interstate, you could be over to Hamburg in about probably 12 minutes. You could be over to Hamburg. Easy shopping over there. They have anything you want. One of the other things we didn't really talk a lot about were the parks, other than just to say about Masterson Station, but lots of green spaces here in this neighborhood for you to be in. There's also a planned expansion that's connecting the 40511 neighborhoods, and that's going to be the Town Branch Trail. And that's going to be just a really cool trail that you can just walk. It takes you all the way into downtown. Takes you past a lot of really cool and interesting things. Haven't yet done it, but I'm going to give that one a try. So you need to check that out. So before we wrap it up today, we want to just go over what it is that you can get in this area. So if you're looking for a house that's in the high 300s to mid 400s, you can really get a lot for your money in this zip code. So reach out to us, send us a text, send us an email, give me a call. I'd be happy to help you. If you're thinking about moving into the Lexington area, touch base with us so we can get you connected. These properties, some of them do stay on the market for a while, maybe the ones that, need some updates, but maybe that would be the ones you could really get a good deal on if they've been on the market for a while. So I just wanted to let you know that this is what we're looking at in the next few weeks. We're going to be taking a look at different zip codes. Next week, we might take a veer over to a neighboring town. And so if you have a desire to hear about maybe a neighboring town, whether it be Frankfort or Georgetown or Richmond, leave us a comment below so we can kind of keep track of that for you. Maybe we could check on those neighborhoods. So
that wraps up our tour today of the 40511 zip code. So reach out to us so that we can help you find your perfect place in the Lexington area. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.